Welcome to an hour of power. I am Keith Anthony Blanchard, spiritual teacher, musician, author of the best-selling book Homecoming: Crossing the Bridge to the Soul, and your host of Center of Light. Let's dive in. Hello, all my brothers and sister astronauts. Prepare as we launch for inner space, sacred space, divine space, consecrated space. This right now is needed more than ever. What, a crystal ball? Exactly. We all need a crystal ball. There's a lot of redonkulousness happening out there. What we really need right now is to be crystal clear about what's happening in the world. Actually, let me say that again, about what's happening in you. That is the world. That is what will give light, comfort, joy, everything that we are wanting. Tonight is the third, I think, presidential debate. The last word is debate. Think about that word, what that is. Presidential debate. There's two people on the planet right now that have the highest charge, the most powerful charge, magnetic charge. The left and the right, the blue and the red, the elephant and the donkey. And these two people, like it or not, together are the highest charge. Do you understand? Doesn't matter who you vote for. I vote every day. I sit in this chair and I vote every day with all of myself. Do you? I love being me. Do you love being you? It's needed. Consider yourself a warrior of light if you do. When you fall inside so deep and touch that which is deeper than we can possibly imagine until we actually get there, when you touch that, you become a God junkie. Homecoming: Crossing the Bridge to the Soul just went bestseller last month. I did post, I believe, or I'm posting now in the forum. Here we go. Yes, I'm posting now in the forum a link to Homecoming: Crossing the Bridge to the Soul, my new bestseller. But also, if you read the book and you've purchased it already, know that you can use that very same link right now. It'd be a fantastic time to leave me a review, honest review, actually. I want it to be honest. I'm looking at a couple things. I'm going a little squirrely. One moment, please. Technology is what it is. Why is that like that? Either way, not a big deal. Let me go over my notes, my gamut. I'm just out of place for right now. All of my work will, as of tonight is the last Center of Light radio and or presentation I will be launching to my personal wall. From now on, I'm going to go to Center of Light Radio on Facebook and also on YouTube. So if you have not already subscribed or liked the Center of Light Radio on Facebook, do that now. I am going to continue to post it on the wall, but it's going to be launched from Center of Light Radio. So if you don't get a notification about when I go live doing presentations with you or interviews like I have with Marina Govier tonight, it's because I shifted to Center of Light Radio on Facebook and YouTube. But if you go there then and hit notify me when Keith goes live, there we have it. So tonight is I have this hang up about getting off of my personal page. I gotta do this on my business page. What am I doing? What am I thinking, right? All right, y'all, Lavender Soul CDs. My singer for Lavender Soul called me day before yesterday and says, Keith, I'm bringing over 1,000 Lavender Soul CDs, 330, whatever, of each album. I'm selling them now, all 3 albums together. 3 albums for $20. 3 albums for $20. 3 albums for $20. These albums were selling at $20 a piece. But when we made these albums, we bought thousands of copies. So you can leave it in this forum, Keith, I want the music, or you can send me a personal inbox. Let's see. Here we go. I'm going to bring my guest on. Let me tell you about my guest tonight, Marina Govier. She is an energy practitioner, developer of CMR, Cellular Memory Reprogramming, and Mmrt, Muscle Memory Reprogramming Therapy programs. Intuitive healer she is, and providing conscious coaching on and offline globally, and creative social media and media designer. In fact, she and I have talked a few times, And she is going to lovingly take care of my website, give it some love, some pampering. And that's what that is. We have a whole bunch of fun. Welcome to Center of Light, Marina Govier.
Hello, hello.
Hi. How are you today?
Hi. Good. Good.
Thank you for joining me on Center of Light. We've been knowing each other via Todd Medina, I believe. We jumped seat to each other and kind of met a little bit and talked of here and there. And I wanted to get you in the program. You're a very good speaker. I like where your disposition is inside. Very, very cool. So when I, listening audience, when I contacted Marina to get her on Center of Light, she didn't know what to call it. So she said, that's just not me. I said, she always used the word amazing. So I said, life is amazing. And she and I were talking in the green room. She said, oh my God, it's so amazing that you picked up on that when she first came out of her sleep. People would ask her, how are you doing? She said, life is amazing. And the picture that I selected out of all of her Facebook pictures is exactly what she looks like now. She just had a haircut again. So there's a little magic. So I'm hoping for a little more magic on Center of Light Radio. Everyone, I just posted in the forum her contacts, her website. Go walk and make on her website, make a big stank, let her know you exist. Hi, dear. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Let's get right in there. Let's get right in there. What was life like for you before, pre? What pushed you into the garden, or at least you got to walk this path? There's gonna be a lot of bumps and bruises, lots of joy.
Yeah,
the bumps and bruises.
yeah.
And then what is it like to be you now? So before, during, and now.
Before was bumps and bruises, I think. More bumps and bruises before. And that's what pushed me into it. The thing that actually got me into it was I think it was an autumn night in my hot tub by myself till 4 o'clock in the morning. I got sick, ended up with an inner ear imbalance. And I went to see my sister-in-law, who was a Reiki practitioner. And that was my first experience of Reiki or anything spiritual or any alternative healing. That was my first experience, and that is what put me where I am now. So I'm very thankful to her for that, for opening me up. So that was my first experience. Shall I tell you a little bit about that?
How long ago was this awakening?
Oh goodness. What are we now? So 2009, the end of 2009. Going into 2010, yeah. That was the first experience I'd had, and I had no idea about Reiki. I'd had no alternative therapies, heard about chakras. I'd never heard about energy. So when I had my experience, I literally felt like I was floating off of the bed and witnessed all the chakra colors. My body was vibrating. I didn't have a clue what was happening. So it left me some questions of, where do I go with this now? Because my inner ear imbalance that I had gone. So that was one question. How can somebody, just by placing their hands over my ears in a meditative state, clear this inner ear imbalance? So that was my first.
Let me interject here, darling. Let me ask you a question. I want to see this alignment for myself, but also as a demonstration for our listening audience.
Yeah.
You had an inner ear imbalance. Would you say that at that time of your life, you were clearly in a space of imbalance?
Oh, yes. Turmoil.
Right.
I would say turmoil would probably be, yes, completely and utterly. Yeah. And I needed some direction, and my environment wasn't providing it. It probably was in some areas and pointing some pointers, but I was blind. I wasn't listening, and I wasn't seeing. anything. So
Tell
that
me more, if you will, please. Tell me more about this experience you had by having this ear imbalance and then someone placing their hands on your ears. Did this happen right away after a few sessions? Did you hear a bomb go up in your head? Did you hear any ringing in your ears? I mean, what was that like for you?
it was really quick, actually. I think it was within 40 minutes, but within the first 10 minutes, I felt something. I felt like a swirling in my ear, and heat from her hands. And as she went
Was
around,
she making signs, or just she held them there? You know, the Reiki symbols. Did she do all of that, or a little, or how did that go down?
I couldn't see because I was laying down with my eyes closed, but she did. I think she did do all the symbols behind me and did all the 12 positions, hand positions all over the body. But it, I don't know why, but I just let go in that moment because I didn't want this anymore. So I was open to anything and
Mm.
everything in that short space of time came in. So everything I was experiencing blew my mind, and it led me to look into this. Something in me said I needed to look into it. But I had, so the ripples through the body. I felt like I was elevated. Then I felt my body was moving from side to side. Obviously, I'm not. I'm still on a bed. I was very confused. Um, yeah, it, it was strange. My first experience was very strange. Yeah, and that was the start. Yeah.
Everyone, Keith Anthony Blanchard. I want to make a quick announcement. How could I forget this? Next weekend, I'm flying to Melbourne, Florida. I'm going to do a workshop there called Crossing the Bridge to the Soul Experiential Workshop. I'm going to put you in the gate. My 4 key points for this workshop is going to be: I'm going to show you a breathing technique to clear your debris from your past or potential present, and how to manifest the future using that very same breath. I'm going to teach you this awareness shift, this process. You will, without a doubt, have at least a very small glimmer of your soul. I'm going to also show you how to get out of the world and the noise of it. It's needed right now. And in so doing, you will heal. The world will heal. And finally, we're going to have a Q&A. This is going to be a 2-hour workshop at 9 in the morning on Halloween Day. Full moon Halloween Day. Come on now. So I hope to meet you and see you in Melbourne, Florida. So, dear, tell me about this cellular memory reprogramming that you are doing.
Oh, yes. So I went into Reiki after that, obviously. It opened me up to, but I dipped into everything. I then went into the science along with spirituality and went into the biology of the body. And not too much, not too scientific or technical, but I had the basic understanding of everything in the brain is released into the body. So the body obviously reacts to thoughts and feelings as well. So our feelings come from chemicals released from the brain. So it took my healing to a whole new level where I wouldn't have to do Reiki. I would just have conversations with people, and we would very, very quickly get to the root cause of any physical problems, emotional, mental blocks within the body, held in the cellular memory in the body. So within 10 minutes, we could get to the root cause. Within the hour, everything would change. Just that having the basic understanding helped people to move very, very quickly into a healing space. So yeah, talking, it's coaching.
Do you
Very,
still
very,
do you still do can you do this remotely?
yes, yeah, yes. And over the phone. I can have a phone conversation, and people have a result within an hour. They would feel the difference. Sometimes it would just be a phone call. And I don't have to be physically with somebody. It's asking the right questions. It's getting to the root cause. It's giving the understanding. It's empowering people, how powerful they are, how powerful their thoughts are. Everything is intentional. Everything throughout the day is intentional and created. Same within the body. So,
do people tell you why they're coming to you, or they're just saying, I need to see you, and then you pick up on the imbalance as a little bit of both? They tell you, I'm coming to see you because of this thing. And I'm sure when your clients, I won't say patients, your clients, your people you care about and you work with, I'm sure the intuition is in overdrive.
All
right.
Hugely, yes. Yeah, very much so. Yeah, I think I just have to be contacted and speak briefly. They might tell me a physical ailment, and I can intuitively go in and see why, the root cause of it, and go back through their medical
That's what
history.
triggered me to ask you the question, because I heard you say root cause, and I said, "Ah, she's going deep." You going into the space where intuition has to be present in order to find that imbalance in the person, as to why you're able to, quote, be a facilitator of healing.
Yes, self-healing. Yeah.
In 45 minutes or whatever, however long is not important, but the fact that
No.
you are successful at this—that's fantastic.
Yeah, well, I have to practice on myself first, and my friends, one of my very closest friends back when I started was my guinea pig. So he was my very first, with the coaching, and I did a tiny bit of Reiki with him, but it was more coaching on his knee. He was meant to have an operation. It was meant to do with his, I can't remember exactly. But he had like 10 weeks off work or something. He was going to have an operation. I worked with him. He went back. It turns out he only ended up with fluid on his knee. So that was very fast. The doctors were shocked. The hospital was shocked, but very pleased at the same time. So my friend was my guinea pig. A lot of my friends were my guinea pigs. Yeah. So,
Can
but
you tell us
myself
a little
is,
more about how you do it? What is the how of it? You just intend, you prayer. I mean, how do you do this thing in person or remotely? What is your ritual?
so first of all, we would have conversation, and I would ask what's going on in their life now, and the symptom that they're experiencing, because it's not the cause, it's just a symptom, whatever the disease is in the body. And then we would have to go, I would ask previous injuries, previous disease, previous trauma. Doesn't take very long, because I can jump quite quickly back to childhood trauma, childhood stress, anything, and that's the start. So that's within 10 minutes.
So you're figuring out a math equation is what you're doing. You're looking, you say, what has happened in your past, even though this thing they may say doesn't go exactly with the next thing they're going to say. After they name a few things, you are connecting dots and saying, well, here's the similarities and all these things. And you bring it to a point to say, this is the shelter or the umbrella of everything that's happening to you in these fragmented, fractal kind of ways. Yeah?
Yes, completely.
Fantastic.
Because people will say, oh, they won't remember past injuries or past problems they've had, whatever part of the body it's been, whether it's been a shoulder or a leg, until we start going back, and they see the dots starting to be connected. Because if one trauma isn't healed, it just moves around the body to another part of the body and repeats. It's a cellular repeating process. The cells just keep repeating the same information again and again, until it doesn't, until we reprogram. the information.
So is there more to this process that you do other than what you described so far?
So we go back and find the root cause, find out their perspective that they're holding on to, the information, the belief that they have about whatever was going on at the time, and not look at it from an adult's point of view now, because the perspective they're still holding on to is a child's perspective, right? So the information is coming from a child. So the child within them with the trauma is still repeating the same story again and again and again. So we just change the perspective and come to a deeper understanding of what was really going on.
So it all resolves back to belief. It's what you believe about the world, yourself, and all of it. So
you create. Yeah.
Wow. So it's basically how we feel by using the thoughts of the world. We process, we think this is happening. I get it. Someone does something to you. You don't have to like it. You don't have to like them, but you have to love yourself.
Yeah. Yes. And we don't. So all these beliefs that come with that one scenario, but all that information is stored in these cells throughout the body, and people get triggered throughout the rest of their life, whether it's a smell or just something similar that might have happened, but because the body links to the cell, it reacts. So instead of sitting quietly, the feeling comes up. Something might happen and you'll be completely unconscious of it, and you're not thinking about childhood trauma, but your body will remember and just reacts. And so it just plays out the feeling. So that's why a lot of people will just suddenly feel anxious or sad and depressed, because not for anything that's happening right now in their reality, but because of past trauma is being triggered somewhere within the body. So that's what I find. That's what we go in and change.
I've always said that whatever you have in you that is not healed, it's an ongoing open wound. So being triggered is almost like someone just basically walks by your wound and just throws a little bit of salt in. That's all that's really happening.
Yes. Yeah. And as soon as people have the understanding that this isn't happening to me, it's happening for me, the trigger is helping me to find the cause of what this is, because
my
once
balance.
you find
Right.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I was completely off, but we don't get this teaching, do we? So to see people's lives transform and change and living healthy again, I can't.
Before we go to commercial break, let me ask you this question. Said person comes to you for a session. Said person calls you a few days later and says, this has happened. What is the feeling that goes off inside of you?
When there's a good thing that's happened, the first thing, I just smile. Sometimes I don't know what to say. You just smile. I can't explain it.
It's difficult to use words to describe something that is so sacred, subtle, but powerful.
Very.
Right.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Everyone, Keith Anthony Blanchard here at Center of Light Radio, speaking with Marina Govier. We're talking about how life is amazing. Life is amazing. Scientists are looking for life on other planets, instead of looking at the fact that life is spinning the planet itself. Life is amazing. The whole universe is teeming in places. In fact, it's everywhere. The chair that you're sitting on is alive. It has a consciousness. Believe it. I'm going to play you a song. I just joined a new band. I thought I was going to not play music anymore, but I got a call from some pretty high ups in the music business. I said, I can't resist. I'm going to do this. So we had 2 rehearsals. We had our second last night. Bass player Starship. Yes, I know I'm name dropping. I love it. It's fun. Bass player Starship, Jeff Adams. This boy can sing like it ain't nobody's business. Play bass. Stacy Michelle, backup singer for Kid Rock. Tony Meharry. Myself and Lance McDaniel, I just met the guy. And he said, hey, Keith, come here. I want to show you a song that I recorded recently with some big wigs in Memphis. And this rehearsal room that I go to, little did I know that all these super players traffic in and out. Last night I met the drummer for Kool and the Gang, and this video is going to have the guy from the Barcades. But it's fun to hang around these level of players, not only musician. I'm talking about players in the form of consciousness, because we become students ourselves to see how life for them is amazing. They've found something that helped pick up their gait in their walk towards the garden, towards the soul, crossing the bridge to the soul. Lance and this group of people, boy, they laid down this amazing track. Check this out. Enjoy it.
Good evening, you guys. My name's Lance McDaniel from the Shotgun Billies.
And I'm Chris J. from the Barcades.
It's good to see you tonight. We're glad you're here with us. Tonight we've got something special for you. And this is a song that was brought to me in February of 2018. It's a message of hope, and we want to share it with you tonight.
I'll keep watching, and I'll keep praying, yes, and I'll keep holding to the day and believing in something that I don't even know. A change of mind, Lord have mercy, maybe a change of the soul. It's a hatred between that draws these foolish conclusions, and we so quickly buy into all these foolish illusions. Compassion is slowly defeated as patience impatiently fails. Somebody please tell me, what's it gonna take to bring hope inside all this hell? Ain't it sure crazy? And ain't it a mess? Yes. When the same red blood runs through you, it runs through me too, and it just don't make any sense. Take a look beneath into a heart that's beaten. It's the character that counts in a man, and all this nonsense and fussing and wasted love, well, and it's all over skin now. It's all over skin, yo. Yeah. Gotta rise above all this silliness, y'all. It's alright to be different and free. I, for one, thank God that we ain't all the same, cause this world, it don't need but just one of me, y'all. But ever since that I can remember, somebody's always digging up the past, dragging down all of our people with remnants of old evils, trying to chain us to all that's been freed at last. But tomorrow's sun, well, it's rising. We're hope and healing in its wings, y'all. My sisters, my brothers, no, I ain't in the colors. I'm for love and be loved. Let us all sing. Ain't it so crazy? And ain't it a mess? Yes. When the same red blood runs through you, it runs through me too, and it just don't make any sense. Take a look beneath into a heart that's beating. It's the character that counts in a man, and all this nonsense and fussing and wasting love, well, and it's all over skin now. Well, I was not there when Brother Martin was taken, when it seemed in a dream it was all but lost. just don't make any sense. Take a look beneath into a heart that's beating. There's a character that counts in a man, and all this nonsense and fussing and wasted love. Ain't it so crazy? Ain't it so crazy? Lord, what ain't it a man? When I've got the same red blood running through me, runs through you too, and it just don't make any sense, no. Take a look beneath into a heart that's beating. It's the character that counts in a man, and all this nonsense and fussing and wasted love. And it's all over skin, all over skin. It's all over skin, y'all. Come on now, we can do better than this. One nation, one love. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. All over skin. It's all over skin.
Welcome back to Center Light Radio. Was that badass or what? Seriously. The same red blood that flows through me flows through you. The world only needs one of me. All the nonsense and fussing and cussing. Debate is happening tonight. I suggest you watch it. Don't watch it for the reasons, or at least you can consider watching it from a different space, different place. You might get some nuggets of grace if you watch correctly. Watch in balance, because life is amazing. Welcome to Center of Light Radio, dear.
Hello.
Thank you for joining me. I wish you could have heard that song, but on the playback you will be able to hear it. Did everyone really dig that tune? Oh my God, that's some serious musicianship right there. Hello, Claudia. Hello, Kelly. Marina, let's move on to the MMRT, muscle memory reprogramming therapy. Is there some similarities there in the form of how it's done? Tell me about that, please.
Yes, this is mainly for athletes and anyone with muscle injury, repeated muscle injury. Same thing, same principle, but we're purely working with the muscle. So, so injuries, so trauma through injury during their sports. And why it's reoccurring. So reoccurring injury. So it's injury prevention for future and prediction of what's coming next. So that's what muscle memory therapy is. Yeah, reprogramming.
So I'm not going to let you just glaze over that. What's coming next? Do you have that intuitive sense? Of course you do when you work with your clients. But do you feel, are you empathic enough to the world that you can pretty much, well, of course I would say you can, because one, you talked about earlier how you were able to figure out the mathematical problem or the programming. You're able to see the program that is being run or the script that is unconscious in a person. Right. So you're able to connect the dots, but what about your intuition? How does this work for you? I mean, intuition is pretty much, I would say, a lot the same, but a little different for each one. Is yours coming? It's yours. Is you clairaudient?
Yes. So I guess it's funny because you kind of go into a zone, like when you're meditating, and you open up to the field. And what I've done over the years is step back.
I love it. Open up to the field. Wow.
And put your antennas out there, and you just kind of plug in. And so meditating for 10 years every night, and letting go and not attaching to anything that comes in or thoughts. When you go into that state, you just hear, feel, and images just come in, or words just come out of my mouth. And sometimes people say, how did you know that? And sometimes I would say, I don't know. It's in your field. I'm just tapping in. I'm asking the
All right.
question. I'm asking if I ask the body or the question, it's answered. You know, everything is there, right there, in front of me. So yes. So sometimes I'll get pictures of scenarios that have played out, but also the body talks. So it's everything coming together and everything piecing together. So the energy, the spirit, then you've got the body, and then the behaviors from the mind that's created. So it's all there. And when you ask the right question, you get told. The body will tell you if the mouth doesn't move. The body speaks. So it's just a case of listening with no judgment. None of my nothing is nothing to do with me. So none of my perceptions can come in to play. I have to be completely clear. And
Wow, you are so inside of my head. So what I hear you saying, this is a double entendre, is that no judgment allows one to plug into the field. So if you listen without judgment, the hearing opens up. If you see without judgment, the vision opens up. If you think, no thought, and if you feel without judgment, triggered by the thought of the monkey in the head, you become clairsentient. So all these processes operate at its optimum when there is no judgment, which is access to the field.
Very, very quickly as well.
And so no judgment, would you agree or disagree? No judgment is what allows a person to understand that which is not spoken. It's the language, it's the coded language. It's a different language. It's hidden for a reason, because we have to be responsible to be able to get that knowledge. Was that how would you say that's pretty congruent for you as well?
Yes. And no attachment is, this is where the child comes in. The child comes in because there's no attachment, there's no judgment. Everything that's in your face just is. There's an acceptance. This is probably the biggest thing, actually, acceptance of what is happening right now as it is, and leave it at that. No outcome, no expectations. I never go into any session with any preconceived outcomes. Nothing. I just meet the person in that moment.
Do you sometimes have the outcome reveal itself to you, even though you're in non-judgment? I'm not going to predict what's going to happen. I see you coming in, and you're not going to get my attention. But do you see these things actually play out? Obviously,
I have had sessions with people, and let's say are very resistant, and I know that they're not coming back because they're not ready. So I see the resistance, and that's okay. I allow it and smile.
I love it. Many years ago, I was playing music on Beale Street, and someone says, "I heard you do readings. Would you read my poem?" Blah, blah, blah. And I said, "All right, I'll play the game. I'll play some novel game with you." And so I said, "You just bought a new car?" She said, "I sure did. How do you know that?" And the lady passes by. She said, and I said, "It's red. It's a red Honda." She goes, "How do you know it's red?" I said, "You see that lady that just passed by in the red dress?" She told me. It's simply an observation without all the noise, the fussing and fighting like Lance and the boys said in the video just a minute ago. That's just fantastic. So is this something that came to you naturally, or you had to work blood, sweat, and tears to get to this place of, were you intuitive all your life?
Yes, yes, from a little girl. I would have very vivid dreams, and before I'd go to sleep at night, I would feel some presence around me. I would feel energy. Through my early teenage years, a lot. There's always been something touching me, around me, shadows, seeing shadows, hearing all sorts of sounds, music box playing, water running when nothing was on or running, all sorts of things. But life kind of just pulls you away, and you carry on until one day you can't ignore it. and that was it. Yeah, I did have to quieten them down at one point, though. There was a point when it got a bit loud.
I know that feeling. And see, for me, I was never really intuitive all of my life. Maybe I was. I just didn't know that I was. But it took me, when I started my spiritual walk, my goal was not to become intuitive. My goal was to become a blissful human being. And then what I also realized was I can have everything I want. And intuition was not on that list. No. But after many years of meditating and practicing and understanding and learning the new language, it just started to happen. And then I started hearing the voice or the voices. But like you said, when you crack open the consciousness nut, you will feel like there are infinite people standing in line waiting to use the payphone to talk to and through you. And I came to the same resolve. Y'all have to shut up. I can't hear anymore. So when my guides come or energies come, I say, I don't care how many of you are. And, you could speak individually, but all one at a time. Speak as one voice as a group, or speak one at a time. Because I can't hear through the chattering. It actually almost hurts. It's like, I shut that door.
Yeah. Mine would always come when I would try to go to sleep at night, and everything was silent, but it did get to the point where I would say, okay, so this is my bedroom and I'm going to sleep. Nobody is allowed in here. Let me sleep, because I was losing sleep. I would be woken up. So it did interfere a bit. So I set my boundaries. And really the only time anything would come through would be through sessions, or if I was doing writing. I used to write poetry, and I used to write guidance, almost pieces of writing, and the language that would come out was clearly not the words that I use. So I would start using Divine One, and
it felt ancient.
Very, yeah.
All-knowing.
Egyptian, yeah, yeah. Very Egyptian, yeah. But it was beautiful, beautiful. I don't really do that anymore. Now I am just being, which I am loving.
For me, when I started to tap in, I can always feel like you, that it was ancient, like it was old. It's just been there forever. And that's the same feel. I love that you worded it that way. It's, tapping into the field. There is an infinite life stream. There is a unified field. You see, God, religion, spirituality is not different than science. And it seems like, some religious people are all about the religion. They debunk science, and scientists don't follow religion. But they don't realize that they're having a debate. They're having a debate, and it's the same thing, because we call God that which science calls the unified field, the place where all energy and information come together in a unified wholeness. Wholeness. That's why that's where the word holy came from.
Yes.
And that works. Life is amazing.
It is amazing, and everything is just right in front of us. So anything. Always. It's like having a Google in front of you. Everything is there, all the information, everything you want to know, every experience you want to have. And I do find it amazing, fascinating. And we're just kind of tapping in a little bit.
And I do see God descending, let's just use that word. I do see God descending on the planet, because before Google, look at what the internet or internet is. We look to Google. God is omnipresent. The internet is everywhere. Yes. God is all-knowing. There's nothing you can not find on Google. God is all-powerful. That knowing is power. Knowledge is power. So we see the this trinity of these qualities of spirit, God, the highest consciousness, source, love, whatever you want to call it, intelligence, if that's your way, it's all beginning to seat itself on this planet. Yeah.
Yep. It is that. It is that. Everything is plugged into everything. And it's I see so much change now. I see so many people plugging in to themselves now and realizing there's a lot more in front of them. And for me, that's really exciting. Yeah, it's very, very exciting.
And
So
it's
when you
also
say
alive
God is
inside of
descending,
us. Isn't it that very thing that's breathing our breath?
this is what they're fighting. Right? Yes, they're breathing again. You know, I see that. I see that people are taking that first. It feels like their first deep breath and a relief everywhere. So when you say God is descending on the planet, yes, it is. Definitely. Yeah.
Is there any breathing advice, breathing technique that you may have learned throughout your walk that can help us all to breathe a little better? Touch a
Mine
deeper space?
I think mine was, I can't remember exactly. It was a Buddhist teaching, one of them. And it was, I used to take a really deep breath in through my nose down to my stomach and hold it for 3 seconds. So I'd breathe in for 3, hold it for 3, release for 3, and then wait again. So I would do this 3 to 5 times. And that would open me up, but it was always in through the nose and out through the nose. I've never done the in through the nose and out through the mouth. I've never, but that particular one that stuck with me. Yeah.
You know that the Buddhists, for those who don't know, the Buddhists, they don't just breathe in and out. They don't breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth, or in through the mouth and out through the nose in sequence. They do that. But they actually take it to the level of holding one nostril and breathing in and breathing out, and vice versa, and vice versa, and all these myriad ways of breathing. And each one of these breath techniques will take you to a different space inside, actually a different dimension of the spirit.
It's true. Yeah,
And
it is true.
It's
that
amazing.
was the one that stuck with me. It is amazing because people think there's one way to breathe, just in and out, but most people just breathe to the chest and don't use the full capacity of that. But it clears your mind instantly. It brings you back present. That's why a lot of the time I take a deep breath quite often, just to feel
that, that you say that what happens when we take a deep breath? Someone's anxious, someone says, "Man, breathe," and it seems to just calm you immediately, like something has just draped you in an intentful conscious breath. We're slowly but surely getting to the top of the hour. Would you give us some information about your conscious coaching as well as your social media and media design?
I think the social media and the design is the one thing I'm doing right now, and it's the space that I'm thriving in. I've come back to a childhood love of mine, which is design, which I didn't think I would. 5 months ago, I didn't think I'd be doing this at all, but I am now, and I'm loving it. So, this is my focus right now is design. So that's when I am thriving in the design at the moment.
Good word, very good, delicious word, thriving.
I am. I feel great, and my reality is great. It's amazing.
It's amazing. I knew we were going back there.
Because I'm having fun. I think that's the key. I've said that to you before. I love to have fun. It is fun. It's an amazing playground I'm playing in right now, and just like you with your music, this is where I'm happy at the moment.
It's just, yeah.
I can't. It's amazing. That's all I can say. Yeah.
Fantastic. Is there anything you want to leave us with here at Center of Light Radio, so we can implement in our lives to make us noble, just a little bit better human beings. Anything you'd like to leave us with?
Fun. To have fun. Dive into what you love and play there. That's the biggest thing. To be enjoy your life. That's what I would say. Enjoy. Yeah.
That was powerful, dear. I really enjoyed my hour with you.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And you create
enjoyed
something new anytime or anything like that, let me know. We'll get you right back on again. Please continue what you're saying.
What was I saying? I've enjoyed coming on. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're absolutely welcome. Keep us posted on what's happening, everyone. I've been posting throughout the evening into the forum, the website. There's some other text on top, something about Center of Light Conscious Living. Well, that works as well. But jump seat, go check out Marina. Let her know that you exist. Stomp all over her page and make a stinky noise so she can contact you. Talk with her. She's phenomenal. She's got it together. She can see, she can hear, she can feel in a powerful way. Center of Light Radio. My beautiful little cat. She's young. She's cray-cray. But when I sit in this chair, somehow she intuitively knows. She just chills and she uses this time to take her nap. Well, Keith, that's a coincidence. Okay, I'll accept that. Let me get my outro music. Lavender Soul. Again, remember, Lavender Souls. You can purchase 3 CDs, all 3 albums for $20. We used to sell them at $20 a pop. Keith, I'm interested in music, or you can send me a personal inbox. I'll send them right away. Also, Homecoming: Crossing the Bridge to the Soul, my new bestseller. I'm going to Melbourne, Florida. I'm going to be there Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. But Halloween Day, 9 in the morning till 11 in the morning, Central Time, I'm going to be doing a Crossing the Bridge to the Soul experiential workshop. If you're in that room with me and I can touch you, you're in trouble. Because what you know about yourself will die. My condolences. Hope to see you in Florida. Keith Anthony Blanchard, Center of Light Radio. Life is amazing, man. It's just simply amazing. But it's not amazing without you being amazing to it. That self-to-self reflection takes 2. And when you become aware of that, the third component is added. It's called the Holy Spirit. And things are complete. You are complete, as well as you are loved beyond measure. Good evening.